appreciate the time, and
Yeah, no problem.
obviously want to get into the new album, the tour, and get your opinion on a couple of things. But I don't know,
Hell
man.
yeah.
You tell me, is it still exciting to be on the verge of releasing your debut album, or is it kind of old hat? Like, I've been there, done that. You tell me, man.
I mean, it's always exciting, you know what I mean? Like even though I've done it before, I feel like with this band, I'm taking a lot more risks than I ever have. I mean, obviously that's, relative to where I'm at now with everything else, but it's definitely exciting. We put a lot of hard work into this album, and so far it seems like people are digging it. So very hopeful.
I love it, man. I love that you're bringing something different to the game, and I'm also glad that I finally have one good thing to think about the pandemic and you and coming back to metal in this band, because it really was all due to the pandemic. You sitting around kind of bored at home, but kind of walk me through the timeline. I'm a big music nerd, so I like to geek out about this stuff, and especially with the past couple years, no way to not talk about it. But take me back to like March of 2020, where you weren't even thinking about music at that point.
Oh man, like yeah, I was working at a shop out here. I have my son, my wife. We were pregnant with my daughter, and basically was just living life, and I was discovering new bands because I finally started to want to listen to more newer metal than I'd heard before, because I always had like my mainstays that I listened to, and my buddy Doug was like, "Man, you should hear what people are doing now, vocally, musically. It's amazing." So he gave me a couple bands. I started posting some stuff on Instagram about wanting new bands to listen to, and I heard some of these people, and I was just like, "Holy crap, this is amazing," you know. And basically, like, I'm pretty confident that was the month that everything got shut down. I think, but and then I was like, just focusing like really hard on like going to the gym, and kind of started to do it too much and was getting some injuries from it, and it just kind of came to me one day like, man, like it seems like music's in a good place right now. I have all this free time. Maybe I'll just start jamming and having fun with some people, and that's kind of what happened. And I met Chase, and we started talking. He introduced me to a couple other people, and we kind of just said, "Let's have fun," and didn't have any plans of anything really other than just being fun. And didn't even know if I ever wanted to play a show or ever even put music out, just to jam to have fun. And then we said maybe we'll play some like local, just smaller things, not anything serious. And a couple years later, here we are, and it's just blows my mind every day.
I was kind of thinking about it. Maybe the pandemic is the perfect time to start a new band, and because you think on the surface you can't go out and tour and everything, but then you can actually take your time with everything too, and have more time than you probably ever had for writing lyrics and pre-production and getting everything together, I'd imagine.
Yeah, plus, like I had to become reacquainted with my voice. I'd always done it still, not to this degree, and kind of had to just go into the studio and try to get it done. And I mean, vocally, I'm that guy that usually hates his voice on pretty much everything. I just always have been.
Mhm.
Um, and I was kind of like learning again how to do vocals to that caliber. So there's stuff on the Oblivion EP that I'm not stoked on vocally, that I of how I performed. But like, you know, uh I got a vocal coach, and shortly after started kind of learning more things, and have been able to take my voice to like steps beyond where I thought it was even possible. And I still don't like my voice on a lot of a lot of things, to be honest. I think that's just part of it. And but it's cool to be able to do different stuff. It's like it gives me like a fresh new take on it personally. I'm not breaking the mold or doing anything differently that anybody else is doing, in my opinion. There's people out there who are far beyond my abilities, and sound a lot better to me, and stuff. So I'm just stoked that I can do stuff differently with my own voice. So
I mean, I feel you on the not liking your voice. I'm a radio guy. I don't like listening to my voice either.
really,
I, I I don't feel like I got the big radio pipes. I feel like there's 1,000 people that could do it better, differently, whatever. But it's all just about the hustle and the grind and the love of music and passion for it. And kind of curious too, and geeking out. Did you originally write the EP and then put that out, or was this the stuff on the album kind of held back from the EP? Was it one big writing session and you kind of chopped it in half and did the EP and
uh,
the album, or was it just kind of as you wrote and recorded?
well, as we started talking about like a sound and songs and stuff, Chase would start sending me riffs, and we kind of just didn't even really know how many songs we were going to do. At that point, as soon as I announced the band, we were getting all these offers, getting all these people wanting to work with us. It was kind of overwhelming, to be honest. And me, I was very anti working with anybody else. After having not so good of experiences in the past with that kind of thing, I was just like, no, no, no. And we basically just decided, look, we'll just write these few songs. You know, not have any rules. You write what you think, and if you're open to it, we'll go over stuff with you. Which I'm very open to my band members, and producers. Having like voicing their opinions, because I think if you are open minded, you can come up with a better result ultimately. You know what I mean? Instead of just being in your own lane. And we just wrote those songs, and we're like, yeah, we'll record them on an EP and put it up because people are there seems to be an interest in it. After I posted it online, just a logo, the it blew up. My phone died for like 2 days straight from all the notifications because at that time I had them turned on my phone, you know, and basically we were just like. I originally just wanted to release singles, only singles. You know what I mean? I didn't want to do that because people's attention spans nowadays are very short with so much content, especially during that time. Nobody was working or doing anything else really. So we just wrote the EP and ended up putting that out, and we got with Blood Blast distribution, who were amazing, and didn't really have anything planned after that until we started, entertaining the idea of working with labels, and a lot of them were talking to us, and back in the day, you would have to shop to labels. You know what I mean? And this time around, they were showing interest in us and doing all that. It was completely opposite to what I was used to. So at that point, we ended up going over some stuff and figured that, all right, let's sign with these guys. They seem to care a lot, and they're good people, and we'll write a full length and just keep riding the train and not have any expectations. And who knows what could happen? And that's kind of how I live. I don't have expectations.
Well, I love it, man. Loving the music I've heard so far, and lots of friends pitching in on this one. Befouler, Alex Terrible pitching in, and I imagine he had to kind of email Dropbox his parts in, right? I mean, he was to Vegas, and
Yeah.
you were going to Russia to record that, I imagine. But how'd you get him? Did he come to you? Did you go to him? How did that all come about?
Well, I mean, I've been a fan of Alex's since I first heard Slaughter. And then I found out he covered a bunch of my old songs on YouTube. I guess they're on a different YouTube channel. I people sent me videos, and then I went looking and whatnot. And here and there he'll post stuff on Instagram about Suffocate, and I'm like, holy crap, and we started talking or whatever, just friendly. And then he posted this like really long thing about me on his story about how like he really enjoyed what I did. I was an influence, which blew me away because like that dude is he's insanely talented, like insanely talented, and his band is amazing. So he posted this thing about me that blew me away, and I reached out to him after that, and I was like, "Yo, man, like, thank you, that's awesome. I'm a massive fan of yours, And he's like, "We should do a song together." I think it was either him or me. I don't remember exactly. And I was like, "Well, it just so happens I'm writing a new album, full length album. It's gonna be out on Century. Do you want to jump on a track?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, for sure." And we kind of just did it that way. And Alex is a very, very busy person, so you know it's a lot of like hurry up and wait kind of thing. Hold on one sec. Oh, cool, Lydia. I'm on the phone. Okay. Is like a hurry up and wait kind of person. So it took a little bit of back and forth, but eventually we got it. I don't know if he was in Russia when he did it, or if he was in Florida when he did it. Either way, I was just stoked to get it, and I basically just said, "Hey, here, man. Like, here's the words I was thinking. If you don't, if you want to just use my words and just do whatever the hell you want, man, go to town." And what we got back was the result of that, which is, fucking heavy.
Amazing. And dude, I gotta ask too, kind of out of left field, but getting Howard Jones on a track, how did that come about?
Go play, babe. Okay. Go play in there. Okay. Sorry.
All good.
I'm on daddy duty today.
All good.
Howard Jones, man, like I don't even know what to say about it. It blew me away. Like he knew about us and had heard one of the songs thanks to our A&R guy. Or he had heard us before. I don't remember exactly. And he wanted to get on a track, he asked him, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm down. I like that band." And what we got back, I think all of us were just floored, like, "Oh my god, he's actually going to be on it," because we're all like huge fans of his, And it was really cool because he wanted to have Chase's singing parts, because Chase is on that song. Chase's singing parts mixed in with his. So when you hear it, it's his parts and Chase's singing parts. It's
Doubled up.
crazy. Doubled up. Obviously, since I didn't mix it, I didn't master it, so I don't know specifically, but obviously I would imagine, you're gonna hear Howard a little bit more just because it's Howard Jones. His voice is immensely powerful. It's insane. So we got that back, and I think all of us were just like, "Holy crap, it actually happened."
I imagine, I was gonna say it earlier too with the whole CM deal. I imagine Mike Gitter the conduit for that.
Yeah, he was like, "Yeah, we'll get this," and originally I had some other people thought about as well for the album. But then I was like, I don't know how many people I want to have on the album, and also, conflicting schedules. Everybody's finally getting back to being able to do this again. I didn't want to, overwhelm anybody with a lot of their stuff that they have going on. So, but yeah, it's crazy that we got the caliber of people to get on the album. I mean, Lindsay's on there, Kyle's on there. It's just Taylor is on there, which is insane. He's amazing. Just very, very honored that such talented people were down to make music with us.
Yeah, I mean, most people have to wait till 3, 4 albums to have a bunch of guest spots. You got it on the debut album, which is so rad, man. So rad. And even radder, we got a tour to talk about as well. You guys are hitting the road. We're gonna see you in Southern California here, April the 14th, House of Blues, Chelsea Grin, Carnifex, Left to Suffer, and of course you guys. And curious, you probably haven't played the new House of Blues. Probably played the
No,
old one in Anaheim and in downtown Disney, but haven't played this new one yet.
actually, I don't think I even played the old one.
Ah,
Or I don't remember. No, I don't think I ever played that one. I mean, I played a bunch of House of Blues before, but yeah, I never played that one. So it's gonna be fun to play this one, And that tour is just,
stack,
man, we've been
stack.
very fortunate, dude. Like, we're getting just awesome opportunities, and I'm just like, I've become that old guy who's just thankful to be there. You know what I mean? Like, I think when you're younger, you have something to prove, especially back then when the community wasn't like it is now. There wasn't the camaraderie and there wasn't this family vibe. I mean, with some bands you had it, like I've known Carnifex for, I don't know, almost 20 years now, maybe something like that, give or take. And we were always awesome with them or, friends with them and stuff. But like, I'm just happy and thankful, to be honest, that people even care. I never thought anybody would care me doing music again, because I thought the time, it had been so long and people's attention spans are so short, is what I had thought. I had no idea that, like, you know, like, I don't want to say OG deathcore, because I don't think I was OG and the band I was in was OG, because there's lots of bands before that. But older stuff, and older bands, I didn't think that people cared about them like they do, and apparently I was insanely incorrect, because people care like crazy.
Yeah, man. I'm glad to see you back and at it in a new project and can't wait to see it all live and see you on the stage with those guys and hear that stuff. Also wanted to touch upon a little bit about the day job. you had kind of given up on metal, or been done with
Mhm.
metal, and became a barber full time. And I
Yep.
almost feel like there should be a little metal barber fraternity, because there's actually quite a few people out there that are in the barber world and in the metal world, like James Hart from 18 Visions, Alex
Mhm.
Wade of Whitechapel. You guys
That's my
all have
boy
like,
right there.
yeah, I was gonna say, do you guys all have like a little fraternity secret handshake or anything, or?
Well, I think music and barbering or music in the hair industry have always gone hand in hand because I mean, you can look like we do and be insanely successful. You're self-employed when you're a barber or a stylist, unless you're at a corporate place, which some people are, some people aren't. You have freedom. You can make your own schedule and all that stuff. So I think it's always been there. Um, I heard stories about people back in the day going from it as well. And like I know Alex, and basically when I was through barber college, I think he was starting, or when I was almost done, and he was asking me a few things, and I think if I'm remembering correctly, I got a terrible memory, and that dude is just unbelievably good at cutting hair. Like from the first stuff he was sending me back in the day, he's just incredibly talented. So I would always comment on his cuts or vice versa. And one of my mentors, a guy named Andrew Does Hair, who's a cosmetologist but cuts hair better than most barbers. Um, he was in the music scene, or has been in music his entire time as well. Cuts musicians, played music before, made guitars.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's a luthier too. So like I definitely think the connection has always been there,
Well, the
and it's very cool.
creative outlet totally makes sense. You're getting to be creative every day on somebody else's scalp, so that makes perfect sense. And then, yeah, like you said, the freedom, you can make your own appointments, keep your own schedule, kind of not
Mhm.
that 9 to 5 clock in kind of thing. One other thing I wanted to two other things I wanted to hit you with, man. Being that you are old school and been around the block a little bit, I always try to give, anytime death metal, deathcore, any way you want to slice it comes up, I always want to give a little love and remembrance. And if you have any stories, would love to hear them, of the late great Trevor Strnad, who we just recently lost.
Oof. Let's see. Well, I was still am a massive fan of Trevor, and my buddy Alan plays in that band now, which is amazing. Toured with Alan back when he was in the breathing process. So we were playing. I don't even remember the venue now. It had two levels, downstairs and upstairs. Upstairs being the bigger venue. Um, I can't remember the name of the venue at the moment. It's escaping me. But we're playing downstairs, and the tour we were on was like a nuts tour. It was Faceless, Dying Fetus, In Full Darkness, Vital Remains. Even Suffocation jumped on for a few shows, which was
Wow.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, their fans hated us, but they loved us, which was great. Terrence made me sell him a hoodie and made me take the money, and he would wear it on stage all the time just to shut his fans up. It was pretty fun because they'd always be like, "Oh, suffocate's not suffocation." But I'm like, "Yeah, we know. I didn't even come up with the name. That was before me, but okay." And so I go upstairs because I heard caterings there, and it just so happens that Black Dahlia and Revocation were on the Scion tour.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember that, the Scion tour. I forget what year it was, um, but it was only a few shows, and I go upstairs and I see Trevor just doing his vocal sound check, and the dude's literally just talking in like these shrill, witchy highs. And at that moment, we didn't have like the wealth of information that we have now with vocals, and there weren't all these vocal coaches who just dissected how to do things. It wasn't like that back in the day.
Right.
You had to like go through trials and errors of learning how to do it correctly, and sacrifice possibly hurting yourself, or and all that. So I'm just blown away, and I'm watching and I'm like, holy smokes, like, wow. I don't say anything to him because, I didn't want to be that dude, and we play our show, and then I got to go upstairs, and Shannon, the drummer at the time, amazing drummer, let us, go backstage, and it was like, oh, they're with us. And me and my merch guy at the time went backstage, and we're just like, oh my God. Like, because I was still you know, fanboy for sure. And I still am sometimes when I meet people. I just keep it all, you know. And And we're hanging out backstage, and Shannon's like talking to us, and I'm like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And then Trevor comes by, and he's just like super nice, didn't talk too much. I think they were about to go on, so that's probably why. And we got to watch him side stage, and I was literally blown away. And then after the show, I was outside of the venue talking to my father because my father's always been a very mechanically inclined person, and our trailer had broken. We ended up having to ditch the trailer. And we were talking on the phone with him, and Trevor is outside. I'm like, hold on, Dad. And I'm like, hey, man, I just wanted to let you know, like, you probably don't remember me. We met a couple weeks earlier. I had just gotten off stage, but I think, you just showed up to the show and we're talking to everybody. So I said, what's up and whatever, because that had happened, and he's like, oh no, I remember. And I'm like, oh shit. He's like, yeah, Ricky. He said, Ricky, you're in Suffocate, right? You sing for him? And I'm like, inside, I'm just like a 13-year-old kid just freaking out, losing his mind. And I'm like, oh, right on. Thanks, man. He's like, yeah, dude, you guys are sick. I'm like, thanks, buddy. I'm like, all right, well, have a good one. And you know, and that was probably one of the coolest moments of my life. And then,
Wow.
flash forward how many years and I'm playing music again. And I guess he followed us on Twitter or something. And it's real funny though, because when I saw him at the show that they played out here, I don't think he realized it was me or noticed it was me because I was waiting for Alan. But he was just super nice. Just even if he didn't know who I was, which like I said, I don't think he put it together. They had just gotten off stage and playing a crazy long set, and he was just super nice and friendly. And even if I was just a random person, which obviously like to him I probably was, right? Um, he was just super friendly and nice and was like, hold on, man, I'll get him. Don't worry. Because I was waiting stage for Alan to come out.
Yeah.
Just a very nice, humble, awesome guy, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you sharing that. Well, I got to hang out with him, interview him a bunch of times, and same feeling. And just the nicest guy. Loved his laugh. I love his laugh. He is like one of the best laughs ever. And I always like to take a moment to shine the light on him and keep his legacy and going. Um, dude, I appreciate all the time, Ricky. Last thing I got for you. We're an old school radio station. We do every night at 10 p.m. You're going to be a part of it. Mandatory Metallica. So
Oh,
you being a vocalist, if you had to do one, if Gitter came back and said, "Hey, I need one more track, give me a cover, give me a Metallica cover," what do you think you would bust out? What would you want to cover?
oh man, I'm not a big Metallica fan. I'm sorry.
Ah,
Um, I was a big Cliff Burton fan.
okay, okay.
So I don't know if I could do a cover of a cover because I covered Misfits. But I would probably say, oh man, that's so hard. I do like some older stuff. Crap. You know what? Honestly, just because I think it would be really fun to do, I would probably want to do their cover of "Turn the Page." I think it's "Turn the Page." That
Yeah,
cover
it's
they did
Bob
was
Seger.
amazing. Bob Seger song, or which was the one? Fuel, give me fire.
Yeah,
I don't remember the name of that song at the moment.
Fuel is the name
Yeah,
of the
it is
song.
Fuel, right? But
Yeah,
I think that one would be really fun to do, or even something older would be fun too. As long as it's not anything off Saint Anger, I think I'd be all right.
that is the one album that no one ever picks from. That or Lulu, the one they did with Lou Reed, which I don't
Yeah, I
know.
didn't get that, but you know what I mean. As much as like from what I'm saying, that band is legendary, and I would definitely go see them live. Even though I'm not the biggest fan, I still think that they're immense musician. Like they're immensely talented. You know what I mean? And it's fucking Metallica. I think we owe a lot to Metallica.
Yeah, 40 plus years into their career and they're playing stadiums, doing 2 nights in every town this summer. No
Oh no
repeat
shit.
weekend, different sets, different opening bands every night.
No way. I know Ice Nine. I think it was Ice Nine Kills got to play with them.
Yeah, well, they're doing the second date. They have Mammoth WVH and Pantera opening night one, and then Ice Nine Kills and Five Finger Death Punch opening night two,
Holy shit.
and doing stadiums, 2 nights every town, no repeat weekend.
Yeah,
That's the
I mean, I
amazing
think
thing
it's
about that band. They're not built on one song. They're
no,
not built
exactly.
on Inner Sandman. Like if they don't play it one night, people aren't going to be pissed the next.
It's funny. I saw a comment on I forget what I was looking on because sometimes I look at comments just because it's funny. I like the really interesting and clever shit talking comments. I think those are hilarious. I
Right.
prefer those versus the just like boring, like, oh, you suck. I'd rather have them put some thought into talking shit because it's fun.
Right. Right.
Like I get off on those. I think it's hilarious. But I saw someone say like, they transitioned from a thrash band to a hard rock band in one album and haven't done anything like that since, and blah 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 blah. And like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of theirs, but I respect the fuck out of them.
Right.
They are and will always be metal, and everything under that umbrella, that metal umbrella, every subgenre, every whatever, I don't care what anybody wants to say, a lot of that is due to Metallica. It is, you know what I mean? And you can't deny that, and you can't take it away from them.
Nope.
Beautiful, man. Thank you so much for nailing that. Appreciate the time. Can't wait to see you out there on April the 14th at the House of Blues, man. Looking forward.
Looking forward to it, brother. Hell yeah.
Beautiful, man. Thanks for the time. Best of luck with the record, Ricky.
Hell yeah. Have a good day, bud.
You too. Peace.